Hello, I have just an extreme interesting experience that I want to share with you because I think it has some value for you. So just hear me out. All I'm saying right now are just my ideas because right now we have finished this discussion, so this is just me thinking out loud. Most likely in the description down below you will find a link that will provide you much more value than me talking out loud, but nevertheless I want to share it with you because it is how you can make your ideas work, especially when it's coming down to the point of selling your ideas, selling your art, or whatever you are doing as a creative person. And let me first explain how this idea, the theory, this method, the strategy that I have in mind came together. We have just finished our portrait drawing group experience, and during it there were many artists who are very professional in what they are doing. I know I am teaching, but I'm also always a student and listening what the people are saying. And from one of the points developed the discussion today. It is the point that I'm telling you about is from a very successful portrait painter. So he's understanding what he's talking about. Let me explain it to you in a short sentence. It is about how he is selling his portrait paintings and why he's so successful. And his question was, what would you rather like, the way you are looking in a mirror or the way you are seeing yourself on a photograph? And most of the people, me included, was saying, okay, there are some good photos, some bad photos, but nevertheless, the way I'm look like in the mirror is more the way I'm seeing myself, and I like more my picture in the mirror than some photography, because sometimes good, sometimes bad. And he said, actually, this is it. This is how he's so successful, because he's seldom painting the people as they are, but he's painting them as they see themselves, and this is making his painting commercially so successful. We can of course have now a discussion and we had this discussion, if an artist should actually paint their paintings in a way that the customer is wanting it, and if you are a professional painter, you should of course do it in a way, this project, as the customer is wanting it, because you are working actually on a project, and the artistical side you can express later for yourself or in an exhibition about a different topic. So this discussion aside, but I would just want to tell you what is making his work so successful is actually to understand that we are more willing to acknowledge, to accept and get familiar with ideas when they are something that we are familiar with. There are some values that we are already understanding, and very often when we have artistic ideas or we are going in a different direction in art, we are expecting so much from the audience because we are confronting them, and very often confronting them with ideas that are completely out of the frame in which this audience is living. Part of the very valuable art is of course to make people confront people with something that are not familiar with, something that is even a little bit uncomfortable with. This is a part of the art, but we have also to understand that people are always willing to support something only so much, and we should understand that when they are rejecting something, there is a reason behind it, and we should be not frustrated because we have confronted our audience, or whatever you are trying to put your art or your creative ideas forward to. You should not be frustrated when you are confronting someone with something that is absolutely out of the range, out of the frame, what people are understanding or seeing. And it's taking some time to get people familiar with such your new idea. And the strategy how to make people comfortable with your outstanding art, with your outstanding ideas is really easy. The first step that we are accepting things is like with the mirror, it is about seeing it over and over, because you have seen yourself so often in the mirror that one day you have accepted this as the way you are looking. The photo is perhaps presenting you in a completely different angle, in a completely different situation, and that's why we are not feeling so good about it. But the mirror, just about reputation, you have the time to become warm, to become friendly with this painting, and you are now, through repetition, accepting it. And the other way, the other point, how to make your ideas, your art approachable, is to really make it to the point, to keep your ideas short and snappy, and to blend them with something they are already known. This artist I was talking about, he's so successful because he understands how to bring the painting to a point, not making it about everything or about something that this person is not familiar with. No, he's bringing it always to the understandable, to the point, focusing it on something that is just working for his clients. And the third step, I think, how you can make your ideas more approachable and make people more willing to adjust to your ideas, is to frame it in a familiar context, not to put it absolute out of the world, how this person is never seeing herself or himself, but to keep it in his world. Nevertheless, these are your clients and they are paying you to provide them with value, and value is for them something that is in their world, that is fitting in the world. Of course, there are some clients that are the opposite. They want to expand their frame, they want new things, they want to see themselves in a completely unfamiliar, unpleasant perhaps angle. Of course, when this is your clients, that you should work in this direction. But I have learned from this artist, from this portrait artist, that when you are providing value and you are expecting value back in the form of money, you should provide the value that is fitting into this person's world, into his frame, what value he is. Because nevertheless, when people are rejecting perhaps your art, it comes from the point where they are confronted with something that is unknown for them. Perhaps this idea, this point of view is familiar for you, but for them it is unknown. And we humans tend to react to the unknown with fear, with rejection. So you can always put your ideas, your art in some value, some context that is known, especially in art. There's the whole context of the Greek mythology and cultural reference that you can use, and you can make your art with it so much more approachable. But nevertheless, when your point of view is confronting people and bringing new ideas, and your audience is understanding this point of being confronted, of having this unpleasant experiences that on which they can challenge themselves and grow, then this strategy is nothing for you. But I know many artists that are struggling with, because they want to bring value to their customers and the customers that they are having, and they don't want to be rejected, and they want to have an exchange of values. And for them, this is a very interesting strategy. Of course, these are just my ideas right now. If you want to have a much more clear method, down below in the description you will find a link that will help you much more. But really try to put your great ideas in a reality where this novelty has some familiar elements, and your work will become so much easier to convince people, to become magnetic to your audience. Perhaps you have today the time to sit down and think about what elements of my art is already magnetic, familiar to the audience I want to approach, and how you can expand on it to less confront and more to invite, to make an invitation for this exchange of values that you are providing with your art. I hope this idea, this perspective is interesting for you. If you like this idea, you will find down in the description something that will provide you much more value than me just thinking out loud. And I also hope to see you one day here in one of my retreats, art retreats in South France, or to see you in my next video. Until then, see you soon. Bye bye.